Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Bobby Pominville and I'm your art reporter. Today I'm so happy to welcome one of my former students, and I'm so proud of him, Nick Kovatch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And he is a sculpture artist, and I'm very excited to talk to him about some of these works you see. And he is a graduate of Montana State. Did I say that? Right? Montana State University.
Yep.
And MCAD, Minneapolis College of Art and Design, which is a place that I really admire a lot. And I think that's just a fabulous start. Can you tell us about your time then at the university or at MCAD and tell us how you got into this particular artwork and
Yes,
what
definitely.
inspired you?
Yeah. Actually, I think a big inspiration for mine was an undergrad out in Bozeman, Montana, at Montana State. My sculpture professor at the time, she influenced me a lot, really. That was sort of my beginning starts with sculpture and installation art, and she sort of persuaded me to, apply to grad school, and I got accepted to MCAD, which brought me back to the Midwest, which was nice. And
Yes.
From there, MCAD was a wonderful experience.
Oh,
So-
I know from experience that they do such a fantastic job there. And we were just talking about, maybe we should mention this. When you graduate, there's the most wonderful graduation ceremony in the Children's Theater.
Yep.
And I just have to say, with bagpipes.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I was like totally shocked. I mean, I didn't expect it, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it was all of a sudden, the bagpipes start and then the processional begins and
Yes.
all the students walk in who are graduating that year. And it caught me by surprise too. All of a sudden, we're in one big long line, but then, we can hear it in the distance and it was like,
Oh, yeah.
And then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there and he's still playing and it's beautiful.
And just to be accepted at that level into an institution like that, I have to tell you, that is amazing.
Thank you.
You
Thank
must
you.
have had really good credentials and artwork and et cetera in an interview, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you
get
have
in there.
Oh, it's a whole big process, the application.
It is. I know it is. And I had no idea you were going to end up as an artist like this.
To be honest, I didn't either. My first couple of years in undergrad out in Montana, in Bozeman, I wasn't sure. I took I took some art classes in high school. Took a
Did
few
you?
more in Bozeman, and then from there, just kind of kept building upon. And it was like, I don't know. I just had a passion for it, and I just wanted to pursue it as much as I could.
And I
still
just
am.
have to say, I heard that you were going to be at the Art and Music Festival.
Yep.
And I thought, I've got to connect with him because I really want him to come on this show. And I went down and found you, and that was so neat to see all your display of work there.
Thank you.
And even visit with your mother a little. That was
Yeah,
fun. So I just really admire you so much for this pursuing of art. And that's a lot in my family too, because my hubby was an art teacher. So I just love art.
Yep.
Now I just wondered, what kind of classes do you take to go into sculpture? I don't know how that program works. So
there's sort of like your core foundation courses that you have to take.
right.
And then from there, you're also required to take, drawing, painting.
Yes.
For my department was ceramics, sculpture, printmaking, and then they also had metalsmithing. So you're supposed to take 4 out of 5 of those.
I
So
didn't know that. So you really do get a well-rounded education.
yes, yep.
And then you kind of see what you excel in.
Yes. Yeah, so then at that point, for the longest time, I thought I was going to be drawing, painting.
Yeah.
And then I took a sculpture class and
Yeah.
then developed that more and got to know
Yes.
my professor, Nelica, out in Montana. She was very influential for me.
That's a neat story. I'm glad you told me about that. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about this interesting artwork you make. And it's just, I was surprised. I didn't know how you got this effect. So I'm going to hold this one up, and would you tell us about this one and how you do this?
Yes. So the process here, there's just one material, sheetrock.
Okay.
And so I peel, it's a very tedious process, but I peel all the paper off on this one side. And this darker color here is actually still the paper that's left over. And then so this is all the gypsum underneath that's exposed. And then on that part, I'll put a thin coat of epoxy over the top of it, which makes the discoloration and kind of reinforces it, because after it's peeled, it's really, really fragile. Yeah. And then this part is just your normal painted wall that you find in your home or building or anything.
So that's the product that I'm used to, I guess, in some of my rooms.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. I mean, every household has, their walls are made of sheetrock, and that's the material that I use.
You got that darker color brown naturally, or
yeah,
you
that's
had
actually
to
the
add
paper.
something?
Nope. There's like depending on the type of sheetrock, there's about 4 or 5 layers of paper to get down to the gypsum rock underneath.
Okay.
And so this is actually still just the paper that's exposed, and then the very top layer, I didn't touch that, which is the painted, that gray.
Right, and the natural look of this is what attracted me, because I thought, how did he cut granite and stone to get this look?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How earth did you get it on a painting?
Yeah. I know.
So you had me fooled.
Yeah. Yep.
So that actually is the effect from all these different things you put on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good if it drips, and it's good if it fills in the holes, and because you're getting different effect on each painting, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I mean, every piece is different. I peel it differently to some degree. I mean, they're all very similar as far as like the overall kind of abstract shapes that come. I mean, there's a little bit of influence, just from kind of waterways as far as that goes.
Oh yeah, it does look. You can read things into this a bit.
Yep.
And nature is what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
A little bit of nature.
Which, if I kind of, reflect back on growing up in Hudson, Wisconsin.
Oh,
and
the
just
river, of course.
The whole water, Minnesota and
Yes.
Wisconsin, the lakes. I mean, the water is a pretty big influence in my life, especially growing up.
And so you put it in your art. But now, have you ever seen anything like this before you started working with this product?
Not that I know of. Not to say, I mean,
I
there definitely
haven't.
could be someone else who's working with sheetrock in some form.
Oh, okay. But it's unique then.
But it's
Unique
as far
to
as
you.
Yes, unique to me. As far as peeling off the
That's cool.
paper and applying the epoxy.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, it's something that I sort of stumbled on, and I'm trying to keep working on it and keep trying to figure out the next kind of
okay.
next
And
step.
then you can put really any color you want on this piece, on the
Correct.
other side, or the top, or however you're designing it.
Yep. There's a couple other pieces that I've brought.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's the painted part that can be. There's white, purple. Like at the art festival, I had some that were kind of this very bright turquoise color.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And some like a burgundy as well. So that's about as colorful. I mean, color I usually don't. There's not too much color in my work, but so.
Then
I'm kind of expanding upon it and trying to see what I can do.
It can go anywhere.
Exactly.
And what if somebody said, "Well, I want a special color there"? Then could you do that?
Definitely. Yep.
I mean, someone might want it to go in their home and have a certain idea.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. I could. Yeah. These are very customizable. I mean, size. I mean, I can easily cut an exact size. If there's a wall somewhere that someone's like, oh, I need, this length by this width, and I mean, depending on how big. I mean, depending on the size of it, it should most likely be able to. To make that happen.
This is a great piece, and the size is so. I don't know. To me, it would easily fit into a room somewhere, or even a small room or a big room or whatever, and it could be combined with maybe something else. But anyway, I can just see it working.
Yep.
And then these ones up here with the different colors are very interesting too.
Yeah. Yep. I mean the white. I have to say, like the white's kind of like the bigger one here, the bigger size.
Yes. Yes.
That one is sort of like the beginning stages, I guess, the white, and then developed into the kind of the purple and the gray, and then, like I mentioned earlier, the more vibrant, brighter colors. So.
Oh yeah, and I can see exactly why. But this is I like this one right here a lot too.
Thank you.
And I especially like this look. And when you reference the river, then to me it's kind of like something I could use in my home too.
Yeah.
You know?
You know?
And I just think, you know, it was funny because I said to you, well, which way does it go? What if somebody would hang it a different way?
That honestly, that wouldn't really bother me.
Good.
I mean, it. In my opinion, everybody, you know, there's. That's kind of like one of the wonderful things about art is everybody is gonna try to make a connection to the piece in their own way.
Yes.
And as an artist, that's sometimes really hard to accept to some degree because you know you're the one making it and
Yes,
kind of
of
putting it out
course.
there in the world.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody. I mean, that's just sort of how it works, and I think that's kind of one of the wonderful things is everybody's going to make a connection to it in their own way. So
Exactly.
if it works for them better, oriented in a different position, especially with more abstract stuff that I'm making, you know,
Yes.
that wouldn't really bother me.
Now, how long would it take to make this piece or that piece, or how many hours do you? It takes quite a while if you're framing, right?
Yeah. Man, sorry. Now I have to think. Let's see.
Well, it doesn't
I
have
mean,
to
like,
be exact.
No. I mean, it's. I mean, the smaller piece here probably about at least 5 days. The bigger ones,
Oh
like
my.
a week and a half. I mean, just with all the different steps I have to go through.
Well, that's right.
It just the time adds up and takes a little longer than you'd expect.
And I suppose things have to dry.
Exactly. Yep. There's drying
Yeah,
time.
so
That's
I
the
wasn't
that's the
thinking
other
about
thing.
that.
Drying times. That's the part that kind of extends it the most is the times that I need for everything to kind of solidify and.
So this is a crazy question now, but how did you get the idea for this?
To work with sheetrock?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so like these here are kind of like one aspect of my practice. Another aspect is creating these large scale installations that manipulate architecture to some degree and sort of make it sort of unsettling when you're in these environments. So like, you know, I'd take a room and kind of, you know, install my work as if it was like a actually physically part of the architecture. So that's sort of how I stumbled upon sheetrock because I would have to sometimes build my own walls in order to have my installations function correctly. So
Really?
working with sheetrock and building my own walls, that sort of brought me into, you know, learning more about the material. I was pretty much patching a hole one day, trying to make things, you know, it had gotten punctured, so I was trying to make it flat and smooth again, like a normal wall would look.
Sure.
And realized, you know, all of a sudden it started peeling, and I just sort of from there kind of kept working with it. I mean, to get to the point where these are now, there's probably been like at least a 2-year process of just
Oh my.
working on things and kind of developing them, and
A lot of patience.
yeah.
So like if you were drawing or painting, are you into the abstract kind of like these? Or do you like to do like landscapes or anything like that? That's pretty average, you know.
Yep.
I mean, most artists do that.
Yep.
Or do you like the abstract art?
I like both. I do have. I mean,
Okay.
there's parts that I like for both. I guess personally for myself, when I'm kind of creating something, it's more along the lines of abstraction.
I would say so.
Um,
And you told me you've got a group of paintings and you have a certain name for this series. What was that?
yeah. The series that
about that?
that I'm kind of brought with me today, "Exposed" is the title of them.
Okay.
And I've made quite a few different ones, yeah, I mean, exposed I think just sums it up bestly because you know I'm exposing this material underneath another material, and that's something else too. You know, about abstract or landscaped. I think another thing is experimentation with the different types of materials is a big part of my work. So if anything, that's probably what I do most often when I'm in the studio working.
Oh, sure. And that's that desire to express yourself. You just have to feel that need, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you've got that creative aspect.
Yep.
That's really neat. So, do you have any favorite artists?
Favorite artists?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see here. Gordon Matta-Clark. He was an artist back in the 60s.
Okay.
He's one artist. There's Ulfur Eliasson. He's based in Germany.
Oh.
who does some very large-scale installations, but wonderful work. Anish Kapoor is another one, and he's probably most well known for the bean down in Chicago. In Millennium Park,
really?
that
Yeah.
sort of bean, or people refer to it as a cloud.
Oh.
So those are probably some of the kind of more famous artists, that contemporary ones that are still, making work today, that I sort of look
how
at too.
interesting. So is there anything on display around here?
Currently, right now, no, there's nothing right now. I've been very active in applying to things over the past 2 months now or so,
Oh, yeah.
which I'm always applying to things, but I should be hearing back from a couple things soon.
Good.
So hopefully there'll be something in the works.
Great. And I know it was a juried art show this summer, so what did you have to go through to get into that? St. Croix Art and Music.
Yep.
It's juried.
It is, yes.
Which
I had
means-
to submit, an application, and then submit. I can't remember. I can't remember if it was 10 images or 8 images, something along that. You had to submit so many images, so they had an idea of, the type of work you
And
make.
I know they have a committee, and Anastasia and
Yep.
whoever else is on that art committee, they judge your work.
They do.
So I think that's wonderful that you passed that and you got in.
Me too.
And you know what I'd like to see someday? I'd like to see your work in the FIPS.
That would be nice.
And you having a show there, wouldn't that be kind of a dream or something?
Yeah. No, it'd be fun. I mean, being pretty much born and raised in Hudson, Wisconsin.
Well, exactly.
It'd be fun to be able to show my work where I grew up.
So would that be a whole nother process of of letting them look at your work and judging and then deciding whether or not?
Yep.
So you might have to jump through some hoops to get it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's the application process for most things as far as the arts go. Everything that you apply to, they want to see images of your work. There's some application that you need to fill out, and different requirements that they all have. At the same time, it's it can be a little tedious, but it's exciting once you sort of, it's that being proactive thing. Trying to make your work and share it with people. So.
Right. Well, good for you, and I hope you I just want to see that someday.
Yeah.
But if you're in the cities too, be sure and let me know.
Oh, definitely. Yep.
Now, you told me you teach some classes at MCAD. That's pretty
I do. Yep.
impressive.
I
So
do.
tell me about that.
Yeah. So I was actually, when I graduated, just that sort of next semester, I was able to just be an adjunct teacher, and I'm still an adjunct at MCAD right now.
Nice.
And I enjoy it a lot. It's a lot of fun. The majority of my class are all incoming freshmen, just straight out of high school. It's one of the class I teach is 2D foundations, actually.
Which is,
It's
what
just
does that mean?
so it's just a 2-dimensional foundations course.
Oh, I get you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've actually heard about that before.
Yep. And I mean, a big chunk of my kind of curriculum for the course is color theory. Just looking at colors and how they function.
Wonderful. So two-dimensional work, and this would be their first experience kind of then.
Yeah, I mean, it's
At the college.
Yeah, even just in college in general. They're
Yeah.
they had just graduated from high school that next semester. They're in
Right.
college, so they're all very excited. They're all working hard. I mean, so it's
That must be a lot of fun for you.
yes, it is. I mean, it's always amazed me when I give them the requirements for a project, and they have time to work on it, and then we bring everything back, and then we critique.
Yes.
And they all had the same requirements, but there's so many. I have 14 students, and there's 14 different projects. I mean, they all still meet my requirements, but they've all interpreted or come up with some concept
That's
to
the
make
great
it their
thing,
own.
though.
Yes,
because
exactly.
individualistic, and they're doing, what they see or what they interpret as art. And I think that's got to be fun for you.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably the most rewarding part of it.
So
Definitely.
do you think that people are well prepared when they come out of high school, or do you think some of them just really haven't had a lot of experience maybe, or don't know really what their media is going to be?
No, some of them have an idea, and then some of them, are open to whatever. They're sort of waiting for something to sort of inspire them, which I think both work.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I think the big thing that I've probably noticed is time management ends up becoming a bigger thing for them than they realize.
Oh yeah.
Just sort of, now you have this freedom. They're your first year. Most, the majority of them live on campus, and they're trying to, I mean, you're in a whole different environment. It's a very new experience. So.
I could see where that would be difficult for the creative people.
Yeah.
It's like in music, I would have to practice for 2 hours every day. And, especially if I had a recital or something.
Yep.
And it would be quite demanding. And then you would be judged at times and juried. And I know how stressful that was.
Yep.
So I think that's interesting because as an artist, too, you have to manage your time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Get anything done.
Yep, you have to manage your time. I mean, it's just, that's why, at MCAD, I know they have a pretty, I think it's a really good philosophy. I mean, it's like, when you graduate here, you're going to have deadlines, and if you don't meet those deadlines, it's not going to turn out very well. So, that's something that, I believe as well. So it's sort of like when we have critique, you're expected to bring your project and have it completed.
Exactly.
So.
And I know that tuition is high there. It's very respected.
Yes. Yep.
And so I imagine some have scholarships, but
Oh, yeah.
but I have to say, you don't want to be wasting that.
No.
And I'm sure everybody, has to worry a little bit about money.
Yeah.
Because prices of college entrance and all that is up so much now.
It is. Yep.
I think,
Yep.
well, the private schools. Now, I know I asked you this, but is there anything in the near future that's coming up for you?
Not at the moment.
Okay, but you're going to let me know.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to ask you something. Didn't you say something about you had a job in Eau Claire? Was that art related?
It's sort of.
Oh, sort of. Okay.
Sort of.
Really don't need to talk about that then, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I knew exactly what you're doing and everything. And do you mind if we share some information?
No, not at all.
If people would like to contact you?
Definitely. Yep.
And I have a feeling there might be some people listening that would like to do that.
No, of course.
So we'll put that on the screen.
Okay. Yep.
If that's okay.
Yep. I mean, my website's just nicholaskovatch.com.
Okay.
And then my email's kovatch.nick@gmail.com.
Okay.
So,
and I know I've got it already in my computer, so I can get a hold of you.
Yep.
But anyway, have I missed anything? I'm just going to give you a chance if there's something I missed that you wanted to talk about.
No, not really. I mean, like if you go to my website, there's contact information on there too as well.
Right.
So either one of those, the email is probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay. Okay. And likewise, I hope you keep in touch.
Definitely, yeah.
This is really great to reconnect with you.
I know it's been. I mean, it was.
I've enjoyed it.
It's been a while, so.
It has. Oh my goodness! And once you pass 5th grade, it's hard for me to remember exactly where you are because that's the last time I saw you and most of the kids I taught.
Yep.
So, really nice to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm so glad you could come. And I do want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning about this artwork. And if you do want to get in touch, we'll put some information on the screen. So thank you for watching today.